Hi everyone, this is Fahad Mirza and I welcome you to my channel. If you have been following my channel, you know that we put a lot of stress and focus on data. All these large language models, all these tuning, all these tools, all these frameworks are really worthless if the data quality is not there. Data quality only comes when you use proper tools for the proper job. One of the cornerstone of obtaining and then pre-processing quality data is data loading. We already have covered a lot of tools around ETL, which is extraction, transformation, and loading, and we also have seen various variants of this. In this video, we are going to have a look at free open source tool called as DLT. DLT only does one job and does it quite properly. It loads the data for you. Now, how it is relevant to AI and large language modeling? The reason why it is so important is that if you're pre-training or if you're fine-tuning or if you're doing any retrieval augmented generation on your own data, you have to load the data in a proper way. Not only that, you have to build end-to-end pipeline and you have to make sure that you do it properly, but at the same time, you don't want to make it complicated. If you have ever dealt with data processing, data engineering, you know what I mean. Dealing with data is not easy, and that is why we have so many databases out there, whether they are RDBMSs like Oracle SQL Server, NoSQL like DynamoDB, MongoDB, key value stores, and then the list goes on and on and on. So in this video, we are going to install this data load tool, and then we will see how it works. We will be using free Google Colab, so you don't have to install anything on your local systems, and I will give you a step-by-step demo of it. Before I proceed further, let me introduce you to the sponsors of the video, who are AgentQL. AgentQL is a query language that turns any web page into a data source. It is quite resilient, it is reusable, and I will drop the link to their website in video's description. Okay, let's go back to my Google Colab. Let's install this DLT tool, and I will be using it with DuckDB, which is a free open source database, and it will be created as part of the pipeline. While it installs, also there are various other features which are embedded in this DLT. For example, it allows you to have data structure inspection and schema creation for the destination, and we will see it with this DuckDB example. It also helps you in normalizing the data so that it is consistent. You can use it in not only in this Colab, but also in serverless functions like AWS Lambda, or even in something like Airflow, DAG, or direct acyclical graph, and you can install it anywhere where you have Python. It is quite easily maintainable and versatile. Okay, so you see that it has installed now. If you want to check out the version, you can do it quite easily by running this dlt version command. Let's wait for it. It is loading it, I believe. There you go. So this is a version which is quite latest and recent. Let's now import the DLT and initialize its pipeline. Let me run it. So you see that it is importing it and initializing this pipeline. It also creates a in-memory DuckDB as part of this pipeline. And I will be using this data set around Pokemon. You can use your own data set, and let me show you how to get that Pokemon data from its endpoint. This is just an example data. So this is how I'm just obtaining this data from this Pokemon's website. It is a simple name and URL of some of the Pokemons. Let me show you some of the data. So there you go. So the interesting bit is that I even recognize some of the names because my kids keep saying them again and again. Okay, like Charmander and stuff. Anyway, so let's move forward. Let's run the pipeline. Now running the pipeline is quite easy and straightforward. All you need to do is to normalize and load the data onto the locally created DuckDB database, and the name is Pokemon underscore pipeline dot DuckDB. So it is, there you go. So, and you can see how quick it is. And that is all we needed to do. And it has also shown us that how quickly DLT has loaded the data into our DuckDB. And you can replace DuckDB with any other data sink or data destination. Now, if you want to access the loaded data, you can simply do it in a DuckDB fashion, where we are importing the DuckDB, we are getting the Google Colab, we are connecting with DuckDB, and as I mentioned earlier, this DuckDB was created as part of that pipeline, and there you go. So you have your schema in a proper way, and it is only using this DuckDB connector. And there are various other connectors which you can check. You can even query the data without adding schema prefix to the table name. Let me also show you that example. So for example, you can just search, you can set the connection to the database, then you can get the table Pokemon or search, and then you can get the table stat. So there you go. These are the sort of primary key, you can say, and then these are the columns of our database, in which these are the rows and values. So name of Pokemon, URL, and then another cool thing is that DLT assign this ID to it so that you can easily identify. And then this is a load sorry, this is a load ID. This is another unique value which you can check. So DLT not only is making this stuff easier to load, but also it is providing you sort of a very ad hoc exploration to advanced loading infrastructure. So for example, if you're loading a lot of data, you can check it out like this, and then you can automate this stuff maybe using AWS Lambda, put it in DynamoDB or wherever you like, and from there you can go anywhere. Also, it provides you the CLI, which I also showed you, where we were looking at version. You can even run it on command line. It also has an option to load only new or changed data, and you can avoid loading the old records again, which is extremely powerful and makes it so easy to deal with various disparate data set from across the board, especially if you're doing the fine tuning. Now, you can even use it with Google Sheets, and then you can there are a lot of destination, like you can use Google BigQuery, Azure Synapse, ClickHouse, Postgres, Snowflake, AWS Redshift, which is a data warehouse, Amazon Athena, Viviet, which is a vector store. And so for example, if you are building RAG, you can simply redirect your data to Viviet, Quadrant, LaunchDB. There are a lot of other destinations which you can check. Also, you can define your own destination. If you go to DLT Hub, which is their website, you can read all about it. And because I cannot cover all of it in this video, but I believe this is one of the really cool tool when it comes to data loading. I hope that this was useful. Let me know what do you think in the comments. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you're already subscribed, please share it among your network, as it helps a lot. Thank you very much.